Okay, guys, so if for any reason you don't have this set of notes in your math notebook, you want to pause it and copy these into your math notebook. And if for some reason you don't have your math notebook with you, then you definitely want to get this written down and then put in there at another time. So if you need to pause it, go ahead and pause it. But this is just a review of the notes that we took on how to combine like terms. And remember, you're only combining things that have the same variable. And we're going to say variable because that's the mathematical way to say it. But if you read that and you go, okay, variable, what's a variable? Remember, it's the letter. So when you're combining like terms, you can only combine things that have the same variable. So I can combine the 2a and the 9a because they both have a's. I can combine the 3b and the b because they're both b's. And remember, if I have a variable by itself, it's worth 1. That's 1b. You're probably never going to see a 1 in front of a variable again, because if there's a variable there, then it's implied that it's just 1. So 3b plus 1b. The same goes for just regular numbers by themselves. You can combine those by just doing what it says. So adding the 7 and adding the 1. Right? And then the 3c is by itself. And so in the end, you end up combining them down here. And you might say, well, what do I do? Do I add the 11, the 4, the 8, and the 3? And remember, no, because if you go back to what you're doing, you're not solving an equation. You're combining like terms. Because this is an expression, there are no equal sign. You're not going to end up with a one-digit answer or a single number for an answer. You're just going to end up with this. So if you don't feel like you need any help with the assignment, you can go on and start working by yourself. I'm going to kind of skip around and do some problems with you. So if you would like help with the assignment today, kind of stick around in this video and I'm going to do a few for an example. So if we look at number 1, 5y minus y, I notice right away that they're both y's, so I can combine them. I know that this y is the same as 1y. So really what I have is 5 minus 1 equals 4, and then my y stays. If I take a look at number 6, I notice that there are 2 y's, and then there's this 3z by itself. I notice that this subtraction sign goes with this 3y. 6y minus 3y goes together, plus 3z. And then I can combine them. 6 plus 3 is 9y, and then I can leave the 3z by itself. If I take a look down here at number 10, I've got 17a plus a, and I've got 18b minus 20b. 17 plus 1 would be 18a. 18b minus 20b is the same as plus a negative. 18b plus negative 20b is negative 2b. And you can go back and review in your notes how to add and subtract integers. Use a number line, use the method where we used the positive and negative counters, or you, like I said, use the number line. So those are the ways that you can remember how to do that because we've already learned about that. If I come over here to this side, it's just more of the same, but you notice there are some parentheses, so I do have to start with the parentheses if I can, but I notice that most of these, I actually can't do any of the work inside the parentheses as far as combining because this one has a y and this one doesn't, this one has a b and this one doesn't. So let's take a look at this 4b minus 6b minus 8. I can combine these two. 4b minus 6b is negative 2b, and then I just bring down my 8. Negative 2b minus 8. If I come down here, though, this is a little different because you see how there's a 2 right next to it? 6a minus 3b, but I have to work on my parentheses. And I multiply my 2 times b and my 2 times 5a. 6a minus 3b plus 2 times b is 2b plus 2 times 5 is 10a. 6a plus 10a is 16a. Negative 3b plus 2b is negative 1b. Now, this page over here, you might find easier. This page over here, you might find more complicated. If you are at home and you're struggling with this, it's okay. Do your best. And then when we get back to school, we will continue to work on it. Remember, all those things that you couldn't do when you were in kindergarten that all of a sudden seem really easy to you, this will seem easy to you soon too. You can also, if you want to have an adult help you, you can, but just know this. I assign this expecting us to actually be at school. So if we're not at school, I understand that for a lot of us this might be hard. And I'm asking you to just do your best and see what you can do. Follow the steps that we practiced. Follow the directions for how to add and subtract integers. And just do your best. The worst that can happen is you get every single one wrong, and then we look at it again together. So do your best, and we'll talk about it when we come back.